Just you brought
You
up
thought of
Black
something?
Series. I'm just thinking about it. I'm laughing because I'm pretty sure that there is these like this wave of Marvel Legends Black Series figures at my Walgreens, and they still haven't
Marvel
sold because
Legends
no
Black
one cares.
Series.
No one.
Wait, did you say Marvel Legends?
did.
Did I say
Marvel
Marvel?
Legends.
Okay, no, Star Wars Black Series. Sorry, I'm getting the lines mixed up. It feels like the full Dookie Super Saiyan Goku.
I want to learn more and more and more.
Oh yeah, it's the champ. Let's go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Plastic Power Podcast. This is Starblast Studios alongside Daredevil 19 and Champ Animations. And first off, I want to say thank you guys so much for all the support you guys have been giving on all of the recent episodes and such. This is episode number 30, and it's going to be a very personal episode for all of us. We're going to be talking about how we have, gotten into collecting action figures. I feel like it's going to be a very fun topic. But first, we got a celebration here. My man Champ just came back from vacation. That's why if you see him on camera right here, he's doing some Harry Potter wand magic tricks type of thing.
Expelliarmus.
Oh no, he killed Sean!
Oh no!
Oh man.
The boy who collects come to die.
Whose wand is that?
This is actually for those who
is
don't
that-
know, I went to Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure with my girlfriend for a 3-year anniversary. So, yep, there we go.
I'll put more cheers in it.
Yeah, there'll be a sound effect.
We had a great time. We got some stuff. She actually, before I show off this, she actually bought me a little gift. It is a Funko Pop of everybody's favorite symbiote.
Goku?
Nope.
GT Goku. Venom on a throne. Wait,
Yep,
is that
it's
the
on-
wait? Is that the null
Oh, I thought he
sword?
had the wing.
That's the null sword. Why does he have?
Yep.
Did he? Did they beat Null in the comics? Is that what happened?
I think so. I think this is what happens. Like maybe end of the arc or something. He
Holy
becomes
crap.
king of the symbiotes, and he has the wings.
That's gonna be such an interest. Because I only know about the existence of that character. I don't know anything that happened after that. So this is interesting.
Do you just know it from the figure set?
Do I know about?
That's all I know it from.
I knew about Null from watching Variant Comics. That's the only reason
Ah,
why.
yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
he
he's in a
also-
2-pack in Marvel Legends 2-pack, right? That's the guy with the wings you're talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he comes in a 2-pack. And
Yeah.
He has the wings and
And then you could put him on Venom. Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna put this on my shelf, and it also glows in the dark. So
It glows in the dark.
Ooh.
What color?
yeah. I don't know. I think the eyes light up. I think the eyes.
Oh,
and the teeth
yeah,
light
yeah.
Up. And maybe the.
So I don't think you can
symbol,
get like black to light up or.
I hope
Yeah.
it's red. Red would be a cool color for it to glow in the dark. Makes sense.
It
too.
might be
It
just
might-
your
it might.
standard green.
I hope not.
Yeah, glow in the dark.
It
color.
makes sense, and I guess it makes sense for it to be like, but I want it to be red because black
And I
and
bet
red
all
look
the-
beautiful.
All the little Venom eyes probably light up too, and they're glow in the dark too, and their teeth.
That would
Yeah,
be sick.
get a closer look at that.
And probably the
looks sick.
logo.
Yeah, so I'm very thankful for that. Thank you, Tiffany, for that. Appreciate it. We got some other things. I also got, she got a wand. I got a wand. This one is the Death Eater wand. There's like 3 variants of this. I like the
Man,
ones
he's
that
a
has the
villain.
skulls and snakes on it. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
the I like the evil, creepy stuff. And there's a little you see like a little black ball point up here. So basically, what you can do is in the parks, and they give you a map inside, and it shows locations on different areas that you can actually interact and make things move. So you have to move in a certain direction, like you're casting a spell. And things happen, like, you can knock over like a teapot or make things light up or, make
I wonder if
people
it's like
sit,
a magnet.
it has to, well, I don't want to
Or
ruin
a
the
sensor,
magic.
or a sensor
but
or something.
Yeah, it's a sensor basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it. It's like a little sensor and like it's all like light sensor.
No, he
so
even
it
got
tracks
the
it.
fingers down too, the way he's holding it.
There's this
Put the fingers out.
There's this one hotel that I've been to. Now I've been to Universal Studios, the one here in California, the Universal Studios Hollywood. It's an amazing place.
I've been to
the wands are
both.
like super expensive, but one place that I know that did this first that I did get what the wands for. There's this hotel called Great Wolf Lodge, and they had this little magical adventure place that you would go to, which has like different storylines, and they also have a wand with a sensor built into them that allow you to do various different things. And I love those kinds of like things. Like even as a kid, from being a kid just to being an adult, the process of like walking to different areas to try to like unlock given things for the story is just such a fun and unique experience when you're going to places. It's really, really fun. So
it's really cool experience.
Harry
I also
Potter.
wanted to show off a couple more things. This is not really toys, but you got the Slytherin hat, represent Slytherin. You got to represent. Also got to represent my man Spider-Man. Had to get this because we had a lot of things to carry, so I was like, screw it, I'll buy a new backpack.
Let me get the Spider-Man one.
Yep.
Nice,
Spider-Man.
nice.
And then let me try not to go off camera, but got this cool shirt right here with Spider-Man and Venom. Biggest reason why
Venom with the blue shading needs to be done more often, even on figures, bro, because it just looks so sick. We need more. Need, like that art is just good.
That's how Mafex did theirs. Mafex did it with the blue shading.
They did. I thought they did it with just like plain black and white.
No. They have blue shading on it. Some people were complaining about it. You had some people that liked it.
I know that was more prominent on the Figuarts movie Venom, and that was like that shouldn't. That people are saying that shouldn't be there.
Yeah. That's another one where they kind of did it, but he was more of like that color, and it wasn't just like a black color.
Yeah. No, I like it. If they do that more often with comic Venom and figures and such, like that would just be sick. Like honestly, it's just that's the way I feel Venom looks. Like really cool when he has those shades of blue.
I like how they switched their colors in the background too.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the DVD collection of the '90s Spider-Man show, where on the cover it had the half face of Spider-Man and Venom. It reminded me of that. I was like, oh, I gotta get that.
Yeah. I never really, to me, because it's just like I never really liked the way that they made some of the Venom design days, like in any Spider-Man animated series, for example, where it's just like half blue and half red on one side. That never really looked right to me. It didn't seem like a natural way. I think that they tried to doing that because of like some shading reasoning. It didn't really make too much sense, but like. Just black and blue or black and purple or like something like that is like always it's like that mixture always adds so many more layers and such, I think, to like the overall look of Venom.
Yeah, it makes it look more gooey, like how it's supposed to be, like alien and stuff like that.
Yeah,
more symbiote like.
I'm not completely against it just being totally black and just plain black and white, but having that shading in there just adds more appeal to me to how he looks.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. But yeah, that's what we got during our trip, and also I was keeping tabs on a certain third-party company when I was out there, and guys, we did it.
We did it. We did it.
We got him.
Amazing.
Demonical Fit is coming up with a GT Goku, and it's official because they already released pictures of the accessories. They got that official photo shoot going on.
It's got a Super Saiyan head with it.
We got a Super Saiyan.
Posting about it a lot, so it's coming out.
And if you guys, it's a good year. And it's a good year for those who know. Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
No, go ahead.
I'm very excited.
You're very excited.
But for those who watched us for a long time, when I first got onto the podcast, I said to this day, I wanted a GT Goku. And guess what happened? Bandai, Tamashii, they released a GT Kid version. I was like, okay, sold on that one.
I'll take it for now.
But then, about a week ago, Demonical Fit finally, I don't care if any of you guys out there say we want Gohan. I want this Goku. I've been dreaming about it. I've been about it. I'm gonna have to censor that.
He's like, I just dreamt about it last night.
Yep, I had a dream about it. I'm gonna have to censor that one. But I am very thankful. I'm going to buy 2 of them. I'm going to review them. I'm going to make a video on it. I'm going to upload it to the Instagram, TikTok, and the YouTube channels. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be a terrific, great time. Can't wait to get my hands on it.
YouTube.com/champ animations. And
It should be in the description anyway.
yeah, it should be in the
Might even maybe make a little short and put it on the podcast.
Also, one
channel.
other thing, if you guys are interested in picking up this Goku, he is available right now on 5ktoys.com. As soon as they get that figured out, I'm pretty sure it's going to be shipping out to everyone here in the West, and it's going to be very easily accessible. So yeah, absolutely, if you want to hop on this train with the GT Goku hype, go over to 5K Toys' website and pre-order.
Because you can't go on Toy Arena anymore.
Not anymore, because Demonical Fit's own fault. But I mean, hey, we've talked about that multiple times. Go watch the previous episodes if
that's
you.
really
if you're
the only
wondering about
place
that.
you can get Demonical Fit stuff now. Really?
There was another shop that I
Only
followed.
5
It's
days.
called Hobby Model something or something like that.
Well,
There's
that's on
another-
AliExpress, but like those guys are pretty.
That is on
I
Ali?
just.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
there's that. Okay, so there's that on AliExpress. Then there's 5K Toys, but there's also Omnime store. But personally, I just like 5K Toys. I feel like they get stuff out, a lot faster.
Yeah. And
Oh,
they're
yeah,
in the US too.
they get stuff so much faster than Omnime.
And what's crazy is they're in the US, I believe, too. So it's like, holy crap.
Yeah,
I think the station in California. 5K
Yeah, 5K Toys is in California,
Yeah.
but Omnime has a place located in Texas where they ship their stuff from.
Texas.
Texas. Yeah, but
Texas.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited for you, man. You got two different GT Gokus. When the first GT Goku was shown off by Demonical Fit, it's like I didn't want to get too hyped. I didn't want to get too excited because we know how Demonical Fit is when it comes to actually releasing figures. But this I'm very happy for. I feel like it's one of those things where they literally watched our episode. If you are Demonical Fit, just saying we really appreciate you releasing this figure. Now please also release that future Gohan that you teased. I'm very much looking forward to that too. and also that 3.0
one needs
Goku.
to release.
Yeah, those need to
that one.
those
That
need
one
to-
was supposed to come out next, the 3.0 Goku, and
Yeah,
then all of a sudden,
it's
got put on the shelf, and GT Goku to go.
Yeah, it's so interesting though because like I'm pretty sure we saw the GT Goku after the base and the future Gohan.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah,
we
we
got
did.
that first. I'm not when it comes to like the way that they release things. It's
Well,
like it
actually,
seems very
GT Goku
confusing.
was hinted at or teased with a 3D render long before Future Gohan and 3.0.
Yeah.
Goku.
I suppose you're right
It
about
was
that.
showed
Yeah.
off.
30,
It was showed
40
off
other
last
figures.
year, I think. Yeah.
That makes
But
sense.
didn't
so.
they? Remember we did that episode, the first episode Champ was on. Didn't they post something about GT Goku, or was that an old post?
It must have been
That
an
was
old
an old
post.
post. Yeah, it was an
Okay,
old
okay.
post. Yeah, that was an old post, and I was like, I swear to God, they need to make that because they were showing off renders of GT Goku and end of Z Goku.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, if
Right.
I'm gonna ask you this, Champ, with you said you're gonna get two of the Demonical Fit GT Gokus. I know you're gonna open up one. Are you gonna keep one in the box?
I might make the other one a custom and give him a tail.
Ooh, okay. So are you gonna make an end of Z? Oh no, just make it another GT.
No,
Goku.
just-
No,
yeah.
just make one with the tail and without the tail, because I'm pretty sure the skirt piece is like it's kind of like a
Rubber.
like rubbery plastic that you
Mhm.
can easily just puncture a hole in, and I might just take like an extra sand tail and just pop that in there.
That works out. I like the sound of that.
Yes.
All right.
Might
And
paint
then,
it yellow if he turns Super Saiyan or something.
Anyways, I think that's enough gushing when it comes to
Vegeta's
figures and stuff. Like, anyways, we have a certain episode. We have a topic to get onto here when it comes to our personal experience
Yeah.
when it comes to collecting. And quite frankly, I feel like this is going to be one that hits a lot of us personally. But given the fact that these episodes are typically on the Devil 19 YouTube channel, Sean, I think it's more appropriate that for you to start off on your experience and such when it comes to collecting. When it came to collecting figures, like what
Oh.
first got you on that train here?
Well, I mean, I'm sure you guys as kids got action figures, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Like, I always loved action figures ever since I was a kid. Once I kind of hit my teenage years, I kind of went into, like, my bad phase and stopped bothering with figures. But once I got, like, back in my 20s, in, like, the early 2000s, see, like, collecting wasn't as big as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I was always super embarrassed to go into, like, Toys R Us or walk down the toy aisle. The only place I felt comfortable was in, like, a comic book store, because I knew fellow nerds were in there with me. So I wasn't really embarrassed going in comic book stores, but, like, Toys R Us, I would have, like, my dad go for me and stuff and tell him what I'm looking for. And, yeah, when I would go into, like, Walmart and stuff, I'd make sure, like, nobody's down the aisle, because you think about it, you're like, what is an adult doing down in the toy aisle? Isn't it for kids? Because that back then it was. Now, like, adults are kind of like running the toy game. Kids don't really get toys that much anymore. I mean, some still do, but not like when we were all younger. You know what I mean? So I got back into it when I started getting back into comic books, which was Daredevil comic books I started reading, and that really got me back into like collecting figures, which is why I chose the name Daredevil 19. So I think Marvel Legends was really the only decent articulated, the Toy Biz, Marvel Legends was the only decent like toy line around at that time in like the early 2000s. And they would also do like they did the horrible X-Men movie figures. They were so bad. Nightcrawler was good though. Nightcrawler was really good. And he didn't have any action feature like Wolverine, claw, stabbing action. So
yeah,
we were
back
still
in that
getting
weird
like,
phase when they were just like trying to make figures all gimmicky and such, but they don't need to be.
yeah, they were still doing that then. And I didn't really, did I discover Dragon Ball yet? Yeah, I had to have. But I didn't really know what Dragon Ball figures to collect. I mean, I think like Irwin was around and Jax, so I'd buy those online and stuff. But yeah, what really got me into collecting was getting back into comic books and just finding my inner geek. So that's what really pushed me into wanting to collect figures. And I hated the action feature stuff. I'm like, man, they need to get rid of this crap. It's pointless. Like, no, I know that's more aimed at like kids, because kids are supposed to have fun playing with them and stuff, which is fine when you're younger. But Toy Biz did start moving away from that and was just giving us fully articulated figures, and they were super cheap too, unless you were in like a comic book store and they knew like the secondary market prices. So some of them would be a little more expensive, but they were selling these figures, I think, for like $20 each. And I think that was their downfalls. They were selling them too cheap and giving us way too much, because you're getting not just the articulated figure, but you're getting the like a comic book with it, and then a Build-A-Figure piece as well. So you're getting like a portion of a free figure as well.
Yeah, and they wouldn't really often like, you know, make remolds. Like every mold when it came to toys, at the very least, was unique. Like they were very ambitious when it came to like how they made a bunch of their figures, even with those action figures and such. But yeah, like I was But yeah, those action features, I could, even as a kid, for me, like I felt the same way when it came down to it, because like I had this one Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I think it was from Spider-Man 2, and and what it and like one of the arms was articulated. It can like, you couldn't get into like a punching pose because it wasn't the super articulated ones that people seem to like.
It just had like the swivel at the shoulder or something, and then the bend at the elbow.
No, what it was is like, so one of the arms was articulated, but the thing with the fingers, you can do it like this or like have it like that, and that's really it. But like the other arm was just like a solid piece, because it's like it's just, you just put it out like that. It's supposed to be like an arm that has like a thing you can just
like
shoot webs
out a web.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that the black suit Spider-Man one?
No, it was a regular. It was a regular, red and blue suit. I can actually pull up I'm pretty sure I have the figure like somewhere and such, like on, but like I'll send a picture of it like sometime after. You can throw it up here in the podcast. This is the one I'm talking about, and it's like, it's a very it's like, I feel like half the figure's good. The leg articulation's great, the arm articulation's great, but then they don't do anything with the torso, and then this one arm is just stagnant, can only move like that, like it's an old 90s figure or something.
And you probably like pegged the web in and maybe pushed it out with your thumb and it went flying or something.
Yeah, something like
that. I know what you're talking about. And then there was also like a swinging one.
No. Now that I think about it, it wasn't a missile thing. I remember now. It had like one of those, pull out things in which if you extend the string outward, and then like when you connect it to something, it brings him back up. It's like, I don't know what you call those. It's like, it's been a while since I've
like
used
a little
them.
zip line or web line.
Yeah, something like that. I think as a kid, like I ripped it off. So
Stuff that had like the wind up things, I would cut those off. Like I had a Hulk figure with that, I cut it off because it was stupid and ruined the
yeah,
figure for me.
yeah, I think that's why I did that. But I also like
Yeah.
I think in the process of that, I also sometimes I think I took off the fingers. So again, we're talking about like
He's like
5-year-old
this.
5-year-old me with that Spider-Man figure or something like that.
I remember I had something similar. My first, one of my first Spider-Man figures was from Spider-Man 1. And it was like one of those action poses Spider-Man where he was like kind of like this. I still have it, but he's posed like
I know
this.
when
He's
you're
kind of
talking
tilted
about.
to the side, and he came with like this weird thing where you hook him onto this like I don't know like this little stand, and you press a button, and he like flips over a garbage can or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, now it probably
Mesmerized.
costs a lot of money and stuff like that, but
Mhm.
like compared to these other figures that came out, I'm like, I would like him to do more than just this.
Yeah.
Was it like stuck in that pose?
Yeah, it's stuck in that
Yeah,
pose. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
I
you
re-
can
I remember
like,
that
you
one.
can like bend the knee so he can be crouched down or extend the arm so he's doing this. But that's all you could do is him going to the side or this or crouch down, and that's
Yeah,
it.
pretty much how McFarlane used to think articulation should be.
Mhm. Yeah. The ones that
But
really
yeah.
I think annoyed me the most because that Spider-Man was the least of the problems. There was this,
That was
like,
all Toy Biz too.
but there was one I don't think that Toy Biz was working on this next one. I think it was Hasbro that took over at this point with the Iron Man 1 figure line. They released like I think multiple different versions of
Yeah, I think
Iron
they
Monger. Like
Yep.
from that movie, but one of them like had like that feature in which you squeeze the legs and then like it just twists around and like throws punches and such, and it's like it seems to be like a very well articulated figure. And I know this because I actually got another Ironmonger figure that did actually have that articulation incorporated in it, but the feature in it that kind of ruined it as a figure was the fact that you would take off the top pieces in the torso armor in order to reveal a little Obadiah stain in the inside of it. And it's like it wasn't really stable, and the pieces would come off very easily, and just made it to where posing the figure around just did not like it made it more of a hassle at sometimes. So
You're
it was
like,
like
I need to glue this armor back on.
something like I didn't
I
do
would
that.
do that to parts. Like if it was something like that I hated, I would glue it back on. I would always have crazy glue too.
Yeah, for something like that though, like at the very least, I think I tolerated it because at the most
Yeah.
it was more creative for them to do that. You know, it
yeah,
didn't
yeah, yeah.
it didn't like disrupt the figure. I think what I did was I put tape on it. So-
Scotch tape.
Yeah, because I couldn't get myself to just glue it and completely remove the feature. I just wanted to keep it with a little bit more stability. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I remember those Iron Man figures. I remember when they started doing Iron Man 2, I'm like, come on, make a Whiplash. But then around that time is when they switched to 3 3/4 inch. I was like, because then they made a
Yeah.
Whiplash in that scale. But they did make like one wave of 6-inch Iron Man 2 figures, which I had a few of those, the Mark V and stuff and all that.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah, the Spider-Man figures were great. I always went after the superposable ones, like Spider-Man, of course, Green Goblin. I wanted to get the Doc Ock. Even when Spider-Man 3 came out, I was trying to get Venom. There was Sandman, and then they had the black suit Spider-Man. But yeah, those I love those old Spider-Man figures. Even from the first movie, I had the Battle Damage. Remember the Battle Damage one, the superposable one, and his mask was all from the end of the movie, the first movie. That one I loved. I loved that figure. And I think that I don't know if the second one had that, but you remember the Battle Damage one, Ish?
Like from Spider-Man, like which version? Regular suit
Well,
or black
remember
suit?
when you fought Green Goblin at the
Maguire one.
end?
Oh
Yeah.
I don't think I ever. No, I don't think I've ever seen that one. I might have seen that one,
Yeah,
but I
that-
just not forget. I don't see it enough to remember it.
Yeah,
like
that
at the
one
end
I
of the-
think came with like I think it also came like with a stand piece or something like that. Like
Yeah, I think it
may
did,
have
yeah.
had like a
Was it
thing
a
where
wall?
you just take the. I think so. I think it was a wall, like the
think-
wall
yeah.
that the glider goes through in the end of the movie.
Yeah, you know what? I know what you're talking about now because like
Godspeed,
half of his face was
Spider-Man.
shown off, and it had that
Yeah.
yeah.
Because one of the pumpkin bombs blew up right in his
Yeah,
face.
I remember that figure.
So it
Yeah, I know what you're
destroyed
talking about now.
most of his mask. Yeah.
Mhm.
That was actually like a good looking figure, and I know they had
Yeah.
like a J. Jonah Jameson when he was like
Yeah, that
Which,
one.
which is like, you know, it did have that stupid action feature, but it's like, you know,
but it's
that's what
J.
all
Jonah Jameson.
does.
Yeah.
They
I
still
want
to this
that
day
Spider-Man.
include the pointing finger in Marvel
Spider-Man is a
Legends.
menace.
I need those tasty pictures of Spider-Man now. Give me Spider-Man's OnlyFans.
I'm surprised they didn't make like the exclusive of him wearing the suit. But I think that was Spider-Man 2, right?
Yeah, that
He
was
wearing
the Spider-Man
that suit.
2.
Yeah, they
That
found
went
it in the garbage. Yeah, that's right.
I know they also had like Peter Parker like change into Spider-Man where he had the wrestler suit and it was like all
Yeah.
rubbery clothes and his mask was rubbery.
Yeah, and it
It's
just
like
looked
the base. Yeah,
It
was just-
looked too big
Mhm.
because it was the rubber clothing. They had a Wolverine like that too. You could, I think you could have him wear the X-Men suit, and then underneath he had like the tank top and the jeans or something like that. But yeah, those were like the early mid 2000s days of action figures. Pretty much, we didn't really have the stuff we have right now, and right now we're just so spoiled with how awesome figures are. Back then, it was so hard to find really good articulated
I would
figures.
argue though that the figures back then, even though the action features in there were silly, they were much more ambitious than they are right now. Like the Spider-Man 3-pack that we just gotten from Hasbro, I don't feel like it has that same level of ambition. They cut corners a lot when it came to that set. The webbing just doesn't like you can't use the webs. Now I do think that the paint apps are pretty good on the figures overall. Like I actually think that that's one of the strongest sets about it. But then they're also lacking in accessories. And I feel like if it was Toy Biz that was making that set, they would have included a ton more of accessories at this point with modern games
they
because
would've.
of how ambitious they were.
Sadly, they were giving too much, and they like made themselves go bankrupt or something like that, which was a shame because they were hooking it up. I mean, they were giving us some awesome stuff, not just fully articulated figures, but we got a ton of accessories with them. I mean, not every figure had a ton of accessories, but I think Wolverine. I remember that first Wolverine they made. That one was really badass. He was super short, and then they had two versions, one with the mask on, one with the mask off, and his
Was it in the
unmasked
yellow
face looked
jumpsuit?
so good.
In the
Yeah, the
comics?
classic yellow
I've seen
blue
those
suit.
at a local comic book store. They had
Yeah.
all those old Marvel Legends and at a decent price. They're like around 30
yeah.
or $40.
Oh,
Not
that's-
too bad.
That's not bad at all.
One of my
So-
favorite Toy Biz figures that I still own to this very day, like I have it posed and such, is the the Marvel Legends Toy Biz, the Scorpion Venom. And that one is just the articulation on it is still not bad. It actually, like, even though it's outdated, it still works in very well. But I actually modded it to where that Venom actually there it is right there.
Is this one?
Yeah.
But I modded mine. I can actually get, you know what, let me get mine. I gotta show you what I did.
I always wanted to get it, but I never bought it because I didn't like the scorpion tail. But I mean, you could take it
Yeah.
off, right?
Yeah, you
I mean,
can
it
pop it
I mean,
off
it on
like
pegs. See,
Yeah.
I should have bought it back then. But yeah, I was always looking for a dope Venom figure.
I've always been conflicted when I first bought this to paint the red eyes white, but to be honest, I just kept it so it'd be more unique.
Listen, look what I did
Yeah.
with mine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
that's
that's
right,
what
you
I
put
kind of want to do with mine,
the
but
Marvel
it's hard to get
Select
the
head on
head
it,
off
right?
Yeah.
because it's
Or
like
the-
stuck on there.
Yeah, the Marvel Select head. Listen, it's actually
Yeah.
you can remove that head with hot water. So you
Hot
can
water?
Yeah, you can still put it back
Yeah,
on. But
or a
in
blow dryer.
The way that I did, this head is not actually like, glued on or anything. I had to like basically
Sticky
put like
tack?
No, not sticky tack. It's a rubber band going around the
Yeah,
peg
yeah,
where
I
there's enough
remember.
friction for the peg to hold on. It's really, bro. This look for Venom, I think, proportionally, this is kind of how I remember him the most, with this kind of body proportions and this kind of
Yeah.
like
Yep,
smile. Like that's
Yeah.
just this is to me, like, even though there's like that big gap right there in the back from the scorpion tail, this is just how I see Venom the most, I think.
Yeah, and you're not gonna have him pose showing his back or anything, so
Yeah, of course not.
yeah. I was telling Champ, like, I always wanted to buy that Venom, but I was always discouraged by the damn scorpion tail. But I didn't know you can remove it. But I
Funny
was
enough,
always
I think-
debating, like, I'll just cut it off if anything.
Yeah,
You should have got it,
Funny
man.
enough, I think I bought that.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I bought this when I was at Universal too. So
You like to go to Universal a lot, champ.
I think that was
Yeah.
like maybe my first or second time when I went there, and I saw this Venom. Like, oh, cool! I went on the Spider-Man
buy
ride.
it?
Yeah,
I did have a similar instance and such at Universal. So they have this one place, I believe it's like this store in the area. It's called Things from Another World, and and in there, so I had pre-ordered the the SH Figuarts Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Golden Frieza, and I'm waiting on it from Big Bad Toy Store. Their shipping is slow, and they have the figures
Yeah,
right
super
there
slow.
in stock, and I'm just like, I really want these freaking figures, and I'm so
You
sick
should
and
have bought
tired of
'em.
waiting. No, because I already got them from Big Bad Toy Store, so it's
Yeah,
like
but
I
you
had.
you could cancel from them unless they didn't do that
I
back
thi-
then.
I don't know. I
Did they
don't.
already ship
It was a
them?
while.
I think
Listen,
if
it was a while back. I don't remember exactly how it was, but I just didn't feel like you know what, they might have already shipped them, but because like the
Yeah.
shipping from Big Bad Toy Store could have just been slow overall. So that's why.
No,
I
they
just-
were very slow with getting product out after they got it.
Yeah,
like
they
you
might have
knew
shipped
they
out.
had it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
but
they shipped
it
out.
took them a while to get through the orders.
Yes.
Which is another reason why I stopped buying from them so much. Like I used to back in like the early mid 2000s, late 2000s, because they were like really the only big main legitimate figure store online,
Mhm.
and they had like everything you were looking for. You're like, holy crap, look at this company, they got everything. But I think that's around that time is when I started getting into like the Dragon Ball Hybrid line too, and those were like the only really good, decent, articulated Dragon Ball figures. But I hated that damn scale, 3/3/4 inch or 4 inch. I hate that scale. I hate it. It's too small. You can't get enough detailing to it. 6-inch figures, you could get that detail into it. And then 1/6 scale was just always a scale I never really cared for either. I always just thought it was too big of a scale. Plus, when I was younger, that's like the size figures I would always get. So maybe it was like a nostalgia thing or something, like 5-6 inch figures. So, yeah.
There's something that this actually, talking about Toy Biz, reminded me of something I've wondered as a kid when it comes to how they use their molds. Heck, I remember like I asked this question to Glenn Webb. He answered it in one of his video before he, before he passed.
Yeah,
Basically, it's like we know that Hasbro has access, to Toy Biz's library of molds and such. And so
Yeah.
we've even seen them use some of the old molds from Toy Biz when it came. I believe like there was a bulldozer figure from the Wreckers, and
Yeah, probably.
yeah, I think that was a mold, reused mold. My whole thing is that why haven't we seen Hasbro or HasLab reuse some of those other Toy Biz molds, since if they already exist, it would be cutting costs to make newer stuff with those molds as remolds, because some of them are actually legitimately really freaking good. And like is better than them till this day. They can just incorporate a little bit more articulation into it with their new updated stuff, and I feel like they'd have a really solid figure on their hands with less work that they would have to do. So why don't they use those molds at this point?
Is that what you were asking Glenn Webb?
Well, yeah, I asked that.
Yeah.
That's pretty well. I shortened it for him, but
Well,
yeah, that's
commented
basically
it.
what I asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a comment.
What he replied back to you?
Well, basically, the idea was that he doesn't know, but he thinks that when it comes to like transferring stuff, is that that sometimes when it comes to molds, when it comes to that type of thing, like they could, like some of the product can be destroyed. Some of the actual blueprints for something could have just been destroyed in between, like when the company was shutting down, and
Most
that's
likely, yeah.
so that's why they never had access to them again. But I don't know, just I feel like they still have to have it just because we've seen them use those molds.
I mean, they might
before.
have a couple, but probably not too much. But do you remember when Hasbro first took over Marvel Legends and everybody hated the way they made the figures? And they almost killed the line because they were making the figures so bad.
I
They made
don't
'em
know
too
if I was
blocky.
as active, because when I first really seriously started collecting Marvel, because I got this when I was a kid. I wasn't really like involved with the line.
Yeah.
But like when I first really started getting involved with Marvel Legends on a serious basis, it was when the Marvel Legends Amazing Spider-Man 2 wave, came out, and they had like the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, the Electro.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That's
they had
that's
this,
when they
like, yeah.
turned it around. That was their first.
Then I came in at the right time.
Yeah, that's when they stopped doing the crappy figures and that first Amazing Spider-Man line.
You're talking, Sean.
was
You're
the
talking
first
about
one.
when they first like officially came back with that whole wave of like what they had, the white Doctor Doom, that one like Ghost Rider
believe
that had like
so.
the coat.
They had a lot of X-Men in it. It's when they did the X-Men 3 Last Stand movie figures, and they were freaking horrible. Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was a lot of X-Men stuff.
Because I know
like,
Marvel Legends had this thing going on where it's like, okay, they kind of like went quiet, then they had a return, they went quiet, and then they had another return.
Yeah, which was the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie wave. I believe that was their first wave when they came back and actually turned it around.
Well, what about Iron Man
people
3?
Weren't...
Because I feel like that wave was fairly decent. Like, you know, the
Well,
Ironmonger build.
did that?
That came out before Amazing Spider-Man.
After.
I want to say, what is it? It was a Build-A-Figure wave, right? I'm going to look this up right now.
I feel like the Ironmonger wave came out before just because the boxes that's on the Amazing Spider-Man 2 wave is more like recent to like what we have now. It looks a lot more like what we got now.
So Iron Man 3 came out, let's see.
Iron Man
2013.
2013, yeah.
And then Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think, was after that.
So what I'm talking about is the Build-A-Figure. This is when Marvel Legends was under the brand of Marvel Universe.
2014.
And in 2012, they had these... I don't know if you saw these, Sean, but they had these Build-A-Figure pieces, and then they had these stands, and it was like it was weird. It was like these hexagon stands.
I know what you're talking about.
I remember those stands.
Yeah, Marvel Legends action figures 2012.
But those are like 3-inch figures, right?
No, these are the actual 6-inch scale line. If you look it up
they
right
had
now,
stands.
Here, I'll
for
send
a
you.
while.
I'll send you a link to it on Discord.
Perfect.
Right here.
Yeah.
Here, take
Marvel
a look.
Legends.
There you go. There's a link on it. I just sent in the chat. This is what I remember hearing a lot about, especially when the MCU started kicking off. Of course, I heard about the, Captain America First Avenger figures, Iron Man 2 and 3. But
these were and they made a decent Deadpool. Okay, so they're amazing. I think that was their the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
It was supposed to be like their another return of, because I was watching.
Yeah. I think like the last couple waves weren't too bad because people kept complaining. Like they had a pretty dope Deadpool. In that way, in one of their last waves.
This.
Yeah. Now you see. Yeah, and like the Iron Man stuff was in there.
This is when they also kick-started that whole Marvel 3 3/4-inch line, and that was kind of to go with it because you see on the box there like Marvel Universe and everything. So it was those are still 6 inches, but then you have the
I remember that Thor.
I remember seeing these in Target.
Extremist
I wanted to this is where I wanted to actually start collecting Marvel Legends because I remember seeing these everywhere. Anthony Customs were reviewing it. I think Sean you reviewed some. Sean Miss Prime, Booga Nice, the ACBA group was popping off on YouTube. This is
like when they changed their boxes to that, that's when they were getting better. Yeah.
This is where I really wanted to start collecting action figures. Yeah, this is where I wanted to start action figures.
Bro,
and they made
these
Avengers.
figures are actually giving me so much nostalgia because I've seen stop motion animators such as Swag Wave and DGDX animations, make stuff with these. These have such a nice look to them.
Yeah. I remember that Deadpool. I was trying to find it and I couldn't find it, and I found somebody who had it, and I bought it for like $80.
Yeah, they also had variants. They had the X-Force Deadpool, the what was it, Future Foundation, Spider-Man, Future Foundation, Doctor Doom.
They even had this. Well, I remember this. Yeah, this Wolverine was like their first really good Wolverine too. I remember this Wolverine. Oh God, yeah, because 2012 is when Avengers came out and they did an Avengers wave, and then before that, they were doing the Iron Man 3 wave, and was it Toy Biz? I think it was Hasbro who did the Iron Man.
No, I think it was all Hasbro. Well, Iron Man 2?
Iron Man
I think it was
2,
Hasbro, yeah.
Yeah, because they definitely did 3. But yeah, I remember all this stuff too. Because this was the only stuff really around. And SH Figure Arts was just getting into... Like 2010, they started their line, and they just started getting more popular as the years went on, and it's only 2012, so this is when we were getting, I think Future Trunks, maybe, or Frieza, Vegeta, Scouter, Vegeta, and Frieza. Yeah, that's when they were coming out, Scouter, Vegeta, Frieza, so that's when they started adding more characters to the line. because all we had was like 5 or 6. Perfect Cell, Vegeta, Future Trunks, Goku, Piccolo, Teen Gohan, or Cell Saga Gohan. So yeah, and there wasn't as many companies around either. So you really only had like the old. I think Starblast is really getting nostalgic.
I'm just
with all
looking
those
at
Marvel
him, man. Like,
Legends.
I am like
Because yeah, I know. I
Legends.
remember. I totally forgot about them, but yeah, that's when Hasbro really like turned stuff around. Then everybody was hyped for that Amazing Spider-Man 2 wave.
Yeah.
Look at this
Yep,
Mystique.
yep, I remember that
Look at this
Mystique.
Mystique.
I used to have that Mystique.
Yo, tell me why she looked like handsome Squidward.
She does. She does, bro.
Got that.
Oh my god.
Man, they
But
had
I remember when this the 2012 Marvel Legends was coming out, and I wanted to start to collect. But funny enough, how you mentioned to Sean about being embarrassed to collect, I was in, I think 2012. I was starting high school, and I was like, you know, the targets I went to, you know, a lot of my peers went to, and you know, I thought it was kind of embarrassing to still be collecting toys at like, you know, a teenager age, and
Yep.
you know,
That's
I
when
didn't
it's
wanna
the
be made
worst
fun of.
too.
Yeah.
Because you're
So-
at that age where you're like, should I be doing this? I'm too
Yeah.
old for it. So, and I know now there's a lot of people out there now who feel that same exact way as you did back then. And what did you do though? Like, did you just say screw it and just went in anyway?
I try to be incognito with it. So if I went to
Go
like
in
a
there
public
with glasses
place,
and then the nose and mustache.
well, no, I was just kind of like pretend I'm browsing, you know, stuff like that. If I saw something in high school, like, oh hey, I'm just browsing around. But then like, you know, on most days I would just like kind of be like on search mode, be like, okay, get in, get out, get in, get out, just you know.
Don't let
And,
anyone see me.
Yeah, and you know, thankfully my comic book shop before it closed down, which R.I.P.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I would also go in there to get figures. I remember getting like Marvel Select. I started getting into that because of Shartimus, and
Yeah, they
funny
were one of
enough
the
is
only
though I
companies,
kind of
too.
grew out of the whole me being shy around like getting figures and comic books and being into anime is when I met like one of my best friends in high school, and he was like, you know, showing off all his nerdy stuff, and you know, he was talking about the MCU. That was like the golden age of being a comic book nerd, was like the 2010s.
Like 2012. Yeah.
That was like the best time. Like
and then
Avengers
that's
came
when-
out, Guardians came out.
MCU is just popping off. The MCU.
All these figures were coming out. I was just a
Yep,
poor boy, but you know, I still wanted to grab these figures and stuff like that. And
Like, dude, the Avengers movie was like such a big thing for me back. I remember like watching it.
Oh, it
like, I mean,
was,
this is the best movie ever. Like, bro.
Yeah.
so many discussions at the lunch table of saying, "Oh my God, is that Thanos? Oh my God, are we gonna get Kang Dynasty next? Oh my God, what's going to happen?"
My favorite thing. My
Like,
favorite thing from that movie, Hulk. Smash.
Oh yeah.
There it is.
Like I just remember so many like good times talking about that movie, going to see the future movies with my friends. We saw Guardians of the Galaxy together. We saw Age of Ultron together.
And
just like all the Phase 1 movie.
Yep. And around that time is when comic book stuff started becoming cool to collect. Before, like the MCU, you were still considered like a nerd. And I think that was everyone's biggest fear, I guess, being caught in the figure aisle with a figure in your hand, and you see somebody you know that you went to high school with or something like that, or maybe like a girl you used to be attracted to, like, oh no, I can't see a figure in my hand. Oh
I
crap.
felt that one. There was these,
There
two
was
girls
no. I
that
did
were
have my
kinda-
fair share. I had my fair share of moments like that, but with me, it was like, I think it was weird. I didn't have a lot of people that I was really like trying to impress, but it was like I didn't really care about expressing what it is I liked. I did like at some point when I became older, I did become less vocal about it, but I wouldn't say I didn't like something, you know. So it's just like I didn't have that same level of fear, just because, you know, in terms of sociality and such, I was very just different as, you know, when it came to people at it. But
Well, your main issue was your parents really didn't accept it at first, right? And then same with you, Champ, right?
You know, they still joke around like, yo, you's got to stop spending your money on like figures, you know, like from here and there. But it's like, I'm a grown ass adult. I can never do
Yeah,
that.
Originally-
it didn't seem like they
However I
bug you
want.
too much, but I think Keisha's parents really like were
Yeah.
kinda
This
hard
is
on him
actually the
about
perfect. This is actually the perfect time to segue into my story. Talk about like my experience when it came to it. So like in terms of just like action figures overall, what I used to really like back then, even as a kid, I wanted to get more and more figures, but I didn't like when I started collecting figures more seriously, it was with Transformers, but that was after Reignition because as a kid, what I liked collecting was still Transformers, but also the Power Rangers and their Megazords, like Power Rangers Jungle Fever. They had like the Megazords back then were so much better than how they are now. At first off, I just want to make it very clear that like a lot of the stuff like right now is not as good. But like I just felt like a lot of the figures back then were really cool and unique. You'd put them all together.
Yeah.
And then like Transformers, they had like the cool thing that I really liked. I still actually, this one in particular I had when I was a kid, but it was like so. This is Primus, and it's like they had a cool feature on it where you plug the Cyber Planet keys into there. Let me take one of that out of here for example. You throw it in this, and then boom, it takes out the missile. It activates and it doesn't hinder anything.
Cool.
These are the. Did I just make a sound effect?
Yeah, it did.
Bro, I thought that was off. I didn't think it would. I didn't think that could turn on again. But the overall play factor that it came with these figures, it didn't have like those. Let me put this back real quick. This big guy. I just dropped the Omega Lock. Amazing.
Back in the collection you go.
To be honest, like I always try to get into Transformers, but I just couldn't. But I feel like if I ever do get an actual figure, it might be just like, and it might be bland as but like you might have to censor that. But it might if I ever get like a Transformer figure, there's probably like 3 Transformer figures I would ever get, and that is Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and then there's a Transformer from I'm bringing up my favorite park, Universal. Mm-hmm. Where there's a ride where you sit in a Transformer car called Evac, and it's just a cool looking car, and has a cool personality and everything like that. So that's probably the only figures I would ever buy. So
yeah, but what I was trying to say was like I felt like the Transformers at that point, they weren't really negatively affected by like the action features which would be included by it, because when it came to Transformers, they always had to integrate transformations and it's 3 figures in one. It's a puzzle. Yeah. It is a movable action figure, and it's whatever vehicle that it transforms into, or planet in this case, with the figure I just showed off.
Like 3 in 1.
Yeah, and they just added in so much play factor. Plus, I just really love the appeal of those robots back in the day. I think that's part of the reason why I really enjoyed the Megazords and such that I collected, just because there was just so much playability and such in there. But I got a bunch of those stuff, Transformers, like Megazords and stuff like that. And then after a little while, I had stopped collecting for, I want to say, 6 or 7 years. Fast forward to basically when Transformers Prime comes out, and they have the figures, and they have the very first 3 figures from that line that I find in a Ross, and it was in Ross.
Oh, it was a Ross. Okay, I was close.
I think it was Ross. But yeah, anyways, they had some figures there in Ross. I'm just like, I need to these look it's $8. The figures are $8 a piece. And at that point, and so I get
super cheap.
$24. But I remember specifically, my mom was telling my dad, he just spent $24 on toys. And it's
throwing you under the bus. Like, what the hell, Ma? Plus, they were on sale.
Yeah, they're on sale, but I think that she just, at that point, she just could not even comprehend spending that much on stuff like that, even though most likely some of the Transformers that we got back in the day were more expensive, but just because of the size and scaling and such. But but it was just, I really liked Transformers Prime. I really wanted to get into it. The figures seemed fun. I felt like, I played with them for a good while. I was still one of those people at that point, even going into where I just sit down and mess around with my figures and do whatever. Yeah. I don't do that anymore, but that was a cool thing back then. And then eventually, as I continued collecting Transformers, I saw Marvel Legends. I tried those out. Those were cool. And then Figuarts just kind of came around when at some point when I saw people's figure reviews. I think your videos in particular were always like, you know, really, you know, cool to me because at that point,
Yeah.
like I was still sheltered. I could not access.
Yeah, you
know,
were
the
always commenting on my videos and stuff. You were someone I always remembered, always coming back onto my channel, commenting on new videos.
Yeah,
and
but
stuff,
I wasn't
so.
able to. I didn't have access to be able to get the figures at that point the same way that
Yeah,
you did.
yeah.
You were one of the more
'Cause you
early
were
figure
still
reviewers when it came to it. Like you were earlier than Shartimus Prime. You were earlier than like, you know, a bunch of people. Like you
Yeah,
were,
well, like the Dragon Ball stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Back in the day, I feel like your biggest competitor when it came to getting figures out, like like those reviews out on time, was Aravera 94. Like it was both of you guys.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
Like talking about stuff. You,
Yeah,
but both
him
of
and
you
me
were
would
like,
always be putting up reviews of Dragon Ball figures. But
Yeah.
yeah, you were still underage too, so you didn't have like your own debit card, so you couldn't order the stuff online. You can only
Yeah.
buy them in
Funny
whatever
enough, like-
stores you go to.
But funny enough, like actually my main way of getting figures at that point, and I actually got I got to give a big shout out to Optibotimus here. So I met Optibotimus at BotCon 2014. And you know, he was a really nice freaking dude. First
Yeah,
off,
he seems like
he's
he is, yeah.
he's the man. But like when I talked to him, you know, we got along. He invites me to this Transformers meetup thing. And like it's basically like this private Facebook group. I'm not gonna spill too much of the details in there. But basically, one of the people in that group was Xavier Customs, the guy who you can buy figures off. He's his store is very good. You can get from him right there. When he would like during the meetup places, people would bring stuff that they would sell, trade, or whatever and stuff like that in this area. I'd meet him up in real life. Xavier was the person who was bringing like, you know, all these figures, and he had like Dragon Ball SH Figuarts with them. And every single time I would go there, I would just be like, yo, this looks freaking sick. And he has like so many things. I'm just like, you know, and I'm looking at my wall. I'm seeing how much cash I got on me.
How much for
like,
that?
The Dragon Ball stuff. I'm like, I have to get this. And so honestly, it's because of it's loosely because of Optibotimus that I even got into that group, but because of Xavier, you know, brought the figures to the
Brought the goods, yeah.
I was able to like actually, you know, step into like, you know, collecting this line, because originally I didn't like, they looked good, but I didn't want to ever like, you know, get into like purchasing these figures just because the Figuarts the pricing for Figuarts is far more than what I'm used to between collecting Transformers and Marvel Legends. And so like it didn't
much different price point. Yeah.
But now it's not like I have to get almost every single one of them except Metal Cooler, because that one I'm being stubborn again. I'm not going to spend that much on a figure, you know? So but yeah, that's basically the story. Like I think a lot of it had to do with just like, you know, the community, like where they were very inviting. Optibotimus is great. You know, Xavier Customs is great. The Transformers community helped basically branch me into like all this other stuff, and I'm really thankful for that.
How long did it take your parents to just say, whatever, keep buying them? A couple years or something? Or when you turned 18, maybe?
I would say no, because okay, well, first off, like I think it was at 2014 BotCon is when my mom kind of just like, you know, turned around and felt you know some differences there. Because I think that from her talking to like Optibotimus after meeting them and like all and seeing like this whole community, she realized it's not just about collecting figures, it's about the socialization that I'm able to get with all these other people that share this same common interest.
So she started understanding the whole
I think that she saw it. She never verbally said this, but I think that she just saw this as like a means of like me socializing, because I didn't have a lot of that at that point.
And she probably saw they were good people and not like getting into trouble. And I mean, it's figures, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could be spending your money on more stuff, but you're buying
and obviously at that point I didn't have
or alcohol.
And you know, I didn't have a car at that point. I wasn't able to do that. She was the one who was able to drive me to get to those Transformers meetups and such in the first place. And you know that, and I liked it because like those areas were like a little mini convention, you know, with people. Like they have like so many things over there. I feel the same way whenever I go to Frankensons. It's basically like a little mini convention center you can casually go to whenever you want. You know,
I still want to go there.
Bro, we gotta, like, if you guys ever come to California, we gotta go to Frankensons. It is a requirement. They got stuff for good prices. If you're a collector,
you have to go.
Is it only open like on the weekends or something like that?
No, not just on weekends. They're open. I mean, I think they're open on Saturdays, but they're also open on like, you know, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I don't remember the exact days. I have to go look back.
I think they used to just be open on the weekends, but they changed it, right?
Yeah, they're open on like many other different days too.
It's just
Yeah,
like
'cause
it's like a huge like vendor like
it's a big
shop,
warehouse, and it's
Yeah.
just all different vendors all throughout it,
Mhm.
and all like action figure and collectible stuff is all there. So it's like a dream for collectors. It's
Yeah.
kind of like the showroom floor, I guess, at like a
For
Comic
like
Con.
Comic Cons.
Yeah.
Minus
something like that.
minus the bad stinky smell.
I don't know
and
that
cosplay.
it might be there.
It might still.
But yeah, that's a place I would love to go, Frankenstein's. But yeah, I feel like Heesh probably had like the hardest trying to get like your parents to accept collecting action figures. And there is people out there right now today where their parents either like make fun of them, or like what you were saying, Champ, your parents would like crack jokes on you about it. But they probably weren't like being too serious. But some people are just like scared to like let their family know or friends know that they collect figures. But it's really,
It's
you
a
gotta
harmless
look at it
hobby.
this-
It is a
Yeah.
harmless hobby. The only thing
it's a
that people are
positive
really,
hobby.
yeah, the only thing that people are really worried about when it comes to it is just how much money you're spending, which is a valid
Yeah, I was
concern.
about to
But
say
you're
the
not
only
hurting
thing
anyone with
harmful
it.
about it. The
Yeah.
only thing harmful about it is your wallet.
Yes.
That might be the parents' biggest issue, that you're spending too much money on figures. But like what I always say to people who ask me this, you could be spending your money on worse things. You know, you could be wasting money on a lot worse stuff, but you're buying action figures. It's a positive hobby. And it's a fun hobby. You get to meet a lot of new people who are just like you and collect figures just like you. Like, join a ton of figure groups on Facebook if you're on Facebook. Same on Instagram. Search certain stuff.
The amazing thing about it, and this is, I feel like it goes more into just collecting toys. It's not about that anymore. That's what people think.
Yeah,
There is much more
grown a
appreci-
lot
it's-
more.
But it's like, I feel like figures in a way are like art. You're getting an
Yeah.
articulated sculpture. You're looking at the paintwork. You're looking at the sculpting. You're looking at the details.
Yep.
You're looking at how well it articulates, the posability you can get with it. There's multiple
Yeah.
different forms of appeal that go into like a figure. It's not. It's to
Yep.
me. It's like, it's kind of like movies. I know this is gonna be like a weird analogy, but like movies include
Yeah.
music. You know, it includes different portraits and such. It includes different things. You're kind of getting like that type of thing. You know, with like different forms of media going into figures because of like what is involved in the production of it. You know, the paint, the sculpt, the articulation, all that type of stuff. So it's like
Yeah.
figures have that type of appeal to it that not a lot of that it only, I feel like people are only recently, you know, catching on to. And a good chunk of that is also because of the fact that people who make figure reviews go over all of these different parts of criteria in order to make
Exactly,
people
yes.
understand what makes these
That's
good
why I
figures.
started doing reviews. Yeah.
You know,
But that's something you do go over. You like, when you go over reviews, to me the main things are detail, like paint and sculpt, articulation, accessories. You could throw price in there for the hell of it, but those are like the main things I like to look at when it comes to a figure, and I know a lot of other figure collectors do as well. You go over how well the paint is, the sculpting or the sculpt work, the added paint detail, if there's shading or if there's a wash. You go over the articulation to see how good a figure can move, to see how dynamic of poses you can get them into, and then the accessories, which adds to the fun factor of the figure, giving you display options with your figure. So you're 100% right about that. The game has changed so much. It's just on another level now, and figure collecting has become so accepted now these days. There's no reason why anybody should be embarrassed about collecting action figures. Don't ever feel that way. There's nothing to be embarrassed about it. It's just like if someone loves collecting art or paintings, same thing. You love collecting figures because, like what he said, it's like art.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Bro, I'm actually, this is funny. I'm going to actually turn this conversation into a circle and bring us back a little bit. I feel that
All
the
right.
reason why, I feel that the reason that what I just talked about right there is the reason why there is such a difference in appeal between Toy Biz and Hasbro. At the very least, when it comes to Hasbro stuff, you may argue that, you know, the quality and such, you know, for the figures may be better. But I
Yeah.
think Toy Biz definitely did curve into like that sort of art style with their individual figures. Even if they didn't sell well, they had the, like, you know, the features and such. There's still a level of art that came with the production of that just is not necessarily as involved with Hasbro. You don't with Hasbro stuff, you don't get that same level of paint quality that Toy Biz had. You also don't get that same level. You also get a lot of like resculpts nowadays in order to cut down on price.
Toy Biz,
And
you didn't really get that
Toy
much
Biz,
at all.
Toy Biz is at the very least. That's the difference. They're ambitious in making art. That's why we can appreciate them so much more nowadays. And I feel like people, did back then, because with Hasbro being an opposite form of media to collect now, it's a polar opposite to where we can actually look back at Toy Biz and actually appreciate what they were able to bring to the table at that time when they were running the Marvel Legends series.
Yeah.
Right,
They were
definitely.
game changers. Go ahead, champ.
No, I was just about to say, like, look at the retro cards these days. That's all inspired by all the old toy lines, like Toy Biz. Like,
Yep.
it's definitely like a little bit of a love letter to them.
I
But
think
it can never replace the real thing.
didn't Kenner make like the X-Men figures and Marvel stuff back then? That's
Kenner?
a lot of the throwback packaging too that like Hasbro does today. I don't know if it was Kenner. It was one of the older companies. I mean, it might have been Hasbro.
It might have,
Dude,
might have been.
You know what else it is? It's that Toy Biz, I feel, were actually, like, even though you can, like, the action features and stuff were a little ridiculous. But they're
Yeah,
but
but they didn't have them that much.
But what
they
it
did
is,
with their earlier stuff for
but
their movie figures.
I think a lot of people, when they did that, they were targeting a younger demographic. But even as a younger demographic didn't like it.
It was a different time. Yeah.
It was a different time period. But
Yep.
at the very least, I feel like the figures for that time period were made by people who actually did care. Like, they were fans of the same material, and it really did shine through their figures. Whereas nowadays with Marvel Legends, I don't feel like they had that same level of passion and such when it comes to making them. They're much more business oriented. Hence the reason why we don't get as much accessories or as much love and care to the Spider-Man 3-pack and such that they should. And that's like their most popular character.
Or Spider-Man figures in general.
Yeah, the only thing they care about, exactly, because it's Spider-Man, they know it's gonna make money regardless. So that why put as much love and care into it if it's not going to sell? If it's already going to sell.
That's why half the figures in the wave they're utter garbage and nobody wants them. That's why they do the Build-A-Figures. It's like, what is this half figure that just has paint deco, no sculpted pieces? It's just paint over it.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Sean, because have you seen the latest Spider-Man Marvel Legends wave, like with Chasm and has this weird Miles wearing like a sweater or something like that?
No, I didn't see that.
So it's the latest. I think if you go to Target, you should see it. It has the lady. What is it? Lady Daredevil. I think it's Elektra wearing Daredevil getup. I don't know what that is.
Oh, I've seen that one.
Yeah, and it has Kingpin's son in the. I won't forget his name is.
Kingpin's son. I don't even know his name either.
Yeah, but like the Spider-Man figures now is just like they'll just make of anything and just lack accessories.
Just
they
throw
just
paint over it, and that's it. Yeah. That's the thing, that they do that a lot, and it's like, come on, man. At least with like Black Series, they don't put out too many figures. What do we get? Maybe 4 in a wave at most for Black Series, but a lot of them do have unique sculpts. Sometimes maybe they'll use like the same boots or maybe the same arms on a figure or something, but they don't do too much of the same.
Bro,
what are you laughing at?
You brought up Black Series. I'm just thinking about it. I'm laughing because I'm pretty sure that there is these like this wave of Marvel Legends Black Series figures at my Walgreens, and they still haven't sold because no one cares. No one.
Wait, did you say Marvel Legends?
Did I say Marvel Legends? Okay, no, Star Wars Black Series. Sorry, I'm getting the lines mixed up. Star Wars Black Series, they still haven't sold because no one cares about the characters and such that they make. They just still have like a good chunk of them left.
Because
dude, there's like so many Landos and
Lando. And it's like, God damn, nobody wants it. Or like there's a Leia you constantly see. Like, what is this? Make a darn Star Killer. It's
the
like,
thing I
those
see,
characters.
Like now at Targets, Walmarts, is like, again, with the Landos. They have a bunch of micro Galaxy Squadron, the little ship fleets. They have those. They have like the baby Grogu's, the baby lightsaber trading toys or whatever. But it's like there isn't like, and that's a problem in general now these days.
That's like, what this wave just looks like. It's just all paint deco.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, the new Spider-Man Retro
See, that's the
2023.
type of garbage. That's why that line
It's
will
all
probably not
garbage.
sell
What is
good.
that? What is that alternate? Like that's
There's-
probably from like a comic book with
There's
Miles. With the
7
whole...
figures on here. 2 of them actually have sculpted torso pieces. The rest of them are just all paint. Like they're sculpted, but they're reuses and they're just painted. I mean, I don't know how many
The
are
only thing that looks
reuses,
interesting is the Ben Riley, like, I guess that's like the 3.0 suit that he
Yeah,
has, but
yeah.
it's just, the eyes are a little bit too big for my taste. I mean, it does remind me of Mark
But it's like-
Bagley's design. But
It's like
yeah.
sculpt on the spider symbol. What is that? Miles Morales? You said?
Yeah, that's supposed to be Miles.
Like
I don't
his
know if that's
spider
like a...
symbol is sculpted at least on the
Mhm.
torso. The rest of their symbols aren't, and it's like, what the hell?
I'm just saying, whoever designed that Miles figure with the whole sweater, the little knots, that probably wasn't a good design choice.
Oh
just
yeah,
saying. It looks-
down
it
there.
looks
What
like-
the hell?
Looks like something else is hanging.
Bro, are you kidding? This Spider Woman's literally almost okay. It's almost the exact same sculpt as the one that we gotten from them like years ago. Like I still have that figure on
Yeah,
my
it
shelf.
probably is. It's the
the
same
same head
face
sculpt,
and
it's
probably
the-
the same hair.
It's
Yeah,
the only thing that's different
That's
on there
what
is
we're
it now
talking
has
about.
double jointed arms. That's the only
yeah,
difference.
that.
But like,
But that's what
you
we're
know,
talking about. Yeah, stuff
Yeah.
like that. I know
And it's
exactly
just-
what you mean.
Yeah, and it kind of like, I remember when I was a kid seeing like Walmart, Toys R Us, Target, or
Yeah.
if you went to FYE, there was just
Yep.
a whole wall of just toys, and it'd be just like maybe one IP, and then another one has a whole wall. Like you have your Marvel here, that's just a whole section. Then you have Star Wars,
Yeah.
whole section. Now
Yep,
these
yep.
days, like Star Wars gets like a little mini section right here. Like
Oh,
an
they
end
just throw
cap.
everything all together now at FYE.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like-
but what you're saying, yeah, Marvel Legends only has maybe 2, what is it, peg racks?
Yeah, like
One
maybe
and
a couple
two, yeah.
sections right here. And
yeah,
then
yeah, wrestling figures always get so much. But yeah, I know what you mean. Star Wars only has 2 at my Walmart. Marvel Legends has maybe 2 or 3 or 4. And then even like their G.I. Joe stuff. I've seen the same goddamn G.I. Joe figures for probably over a year now at all the Targets and Walmarts by me. Like, what is going on?
yeah.
You know, it's like, what the hell? Like, I'm not
And
that
it-
big with G.I.
And it
Joe,
also
but-
sucks because these days it's like, oh, this is a Walmart exclusive. This is a Target exclusive. And then it's like
Yeah.
the same stores don't have those exclusives, and you have to go to like 8 different Walmarts, which,
Yep,
sometimes that can be fun with toy hunting. But it's like,
waste all
it's
my
hard-
gas. I should
Now,
have just bought it
everything
online.
is just going to be a Hasbro Pulse exclusive from this point. Like, I don't remember the last time
Yeah,
we've gotten
yeah,
a Marvel
yeah.
Legends
Dude.
that has been an exclusive to a given store.
Now
So
they're all
I've-
doing it with their own
so
stores
I folded
online
the
now.
other day. I actually folded the other day. It's funny you bring Hasbro Pulse. I bought the Doc Ock and Aunt May 2-pack because I was like, you know what? Screw it. I love that Doc Ock design. I'm going to buy it. Hasbro,
By the way,
there you
the
go,
Peter
take my
Parker
money.
looks fantastic.
Yeah,
I
the
tagged
Peter
you
Parker does
in,
look.
something
Yeah, I
on
saw that.
Instagram.
I'm going to
That
get the
looks so
Green
good.
Goblin and MJ, then get the Peter Parker one.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm doing a little project with that. Yeah.
So you said you got the Doc Ock and Aunt May.
Aunt May, yeah, and I'm still waiting for them to ship it. I
Oh,
ordered
they
it
didn't even ship
Saturday.
yet?
No, so apparently what I read on their website, they ship during the weekday, so like, Monday through Friday. It's Wednesday, my dude.
What store is this? Target?
Hasbro Pulse.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, that is
I
kinda
sent them an
ridiculous.
email and be like, "Hey, what's going on with my
Like,
order?
where the
You
hell's
shipping
my
it out?"
goddamn figures?
I had to go on some forums saying that, hey, sometimes they'll ship things out with even giving you a notification is shipped out. So
yeah,
it's like,
that's happened to me with Premium Bandai. Like, I got
Yeah.
something like, where the hell was my tracking, buddy?
So apparently, maybe I'll get it next week. If not, I'll see if I can contact them. If not, get my money back. We'll see.
That's another thing with them. They're so big of a company. It's so hard to get like customer service to respond back
Yeah.
to you too. That's another thing when it's such a big company.
It's funny you
they
mentioned Premium Bandai because I did get an email saying that my Gohan should be here on August 25th. So
Nice.
should have ordered
Beast
Hobby
Gohan.
Genki.
Should've
I'm doing
went
that
Hobby
next.
Yeah.
Genki, yeah.
I'm
You
doing
should
that
do
for
that from now
Yamcha.
on, yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing that for Yamcha and Mecha Frieza. Then that's sold out. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
Wait,
When I
hold
get
on. You
paid.
need to get. You still need to get a Mecha Frieza?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a
He's got
second
an
one. I
extra
got you,
one.
bro.
Oh, okay.
I got
okay.
it. I knew
I'll pay you
someone
back
would
then.
do this. You know what? Of course it's you. Of course it's you. You know what? I should have known. Okay, don't worry, bro. I got you.
I should
the
have
same
my
thing
Luffy
happened with,
this
listen,
week.
no, the same thing happened with Sean when it came to Turles, and I got him. Now I got to get my second one to you.
When it ships out, I'll PayPal you the money. All
All right, sounds good.
I appreciate my dude.
I got the figure arts Luffy is about to. I should have that this week. I think I just ordered
So
one.
okay, so another thing, I am starting to getting into One Piece for those who don't know, and I'm starting to
Yes.
love the series. I want to get figures of the main cast now, and I was looking
you
up
should.
to see if they had the East Blue, the first Luffy suit. I
No,
guess,
they
and,
don't
like,
have. Who were you? Like what?
They
figure
only
were
have the problem with that figure arts nowadays. The more recent One Piece figures are just like after the time skip, and like you know,
Yeah,
later on.
I'm
yeah.
looking for a pre-time skip Luffy,
The-
and there's only one figure I found so far, and it's the old SH Figure Arts one.
Yeah,
it's
there's
like
that
$100
one.
or something.
I
Yeah,
can get it on Amazon, and if I get an affirm with that,
I would
could
wait.
make payments off that.
Bro,
I
wait,
would
wait. I have an idea.
I would
What
wait.
if you can listen? What if with that new live action Luffy figure, you can take like the anime head and put it on that body?
Anime heroes.
You
and
might- you
bot-
actually-
No.
swap it on
The
SH.
new
the
new
figure
Luffy
arts,
figure.
new
The new
figure
figure
arts.
arts.
Oh, the
yeah,
new
take
Luffy.
that
Yeah.
head and put it on the live action body.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
but
what
would
I'm
that
saying.
work
But-
though?
I
Would that
don't know.
work?
To
I
tell you
don't.
the
It's a
truth,
possibility.
But to tell you the truth, we're probably gonna get a pre-time skip Luffy sooner
Yeah, most
than
likely.
later. So
Like with
I would
Naruto.
wait. Don't even bother.
By the way, I might be
Yeah,
interested in
yeah,
buying that
so-
Naruto off you and Sean. I don't know if you sold it yet.
It did sell. It's a really good figure, though, to tell you the truth.
Mhm.
But I mainly got them to review him, Sasuke, and
Yeah,
Naruto.
'cause
But
I-
it's a
I-
really fun figure.
Yeah, because I definitely want to get the main three. Usopp. Sorry, I didn't mean to flip people off. I just realized right there.
He said the
Censor
main
that.
three.
Just edit
I wanna get
Usopp's
Usopp.
nose right there over the
Yeah.
finger. That's what you.
I meant
That's
to do
what it was
this,
supposed
but
to
I
be.
didn't realize what I was doing. I wanted to get not Usopp. Sorry, Sanji.
I was wondering why you were saying
Z-
Usopp. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
why
I
was
guess
it-
that's one of his favorites.
No,
He
I
is
want to
funny,
get
though.
Sanji, Zoro,
and Luffy.
Luffy,
Yeah.
all pre-time skip because I really like those characters. Those three are my favorite characters in the series.
Yeah, you'd
I'm,
have to wait for figure arts to remake. Well, not remake. Well, remake Luffy and Sanji because they made a pre-time skip. Luffy and Sanji. The Sanji was probably the best one out of all of them.
Really?
But I'm yeah, out of all the original figure arts,
okay, yeah.
One Piece figures. But if I was you, I would wait because they are probably gonna make all three of them. I think we're gonna get all the Straw Hats in their Wano costumes first. Then I think after that they're gonna, or maybe in between, they're gonna be hitting us with pre-time skips. I mean, if there is variable action heroes, but those are kind of expensive.
And they're
but
1/12
they
scale.
made. No, they're like 7-8 inch scale.
Oh yeah.
They're a little bigger. Yeah, they're a little bigger than your basic 6-inch figure, but they are beautiful looking figures.
Mm-hmm.
They made the pre-time skip Luffy and Zoro. If you really want to get those, you can. They didn't do Sanji, those. That's Sanji. But I mean, Sanji didn't change that much from pre-time skip to time skip.
Yeah, the
too
only thing
much.
you got was like that some of that facial.
Yeah, you got a little more beard going on.
Yeah, more
but
beard.
if I was you, I if you want them in 1/12 scale, I'm pretty sure as long as the SH Figure Arts One Piece line does well, which I feel like it will, I think they'll make they will make them because they're such iconic versions of the characters. So it's like making a base form Goku and a Super Saiyan Goku, you know what I mean? So they gotta make it at some point. And they're the main like 3 Straw Hats, so they'll always be like the first ones to be made. So for you, I would just grab the pre-time skip ones for now. Unless you're impatient. maybe
I can wait a little bit. It's not like a necessity right now, but
if anything,
like,
try out the variable action hero one because those are really nice figures. You can even ask Starblast; he really liked those as well.
Yeah,
How
they're
do you
not
spell
bad.
that?
They're not bad figures. I would say though they're like, the Zoro is like almost like a Marvel Select compared to like like just because of how well they sculpted it. But then they have like there's a small issue when it comes to Zoro when you're holding the sword. There's paint rubbing that's going on with the sword and the hands and such. Sometimes handling the figure is going to be a little bit troublesome in terms
They do
of, like,
have a little
equipping the swords.
QC issues here and there.
But yeah, it is overall a very good, well sculpted figure and such.
Yeah.
But like I would say though that I've never actually got the pre-time skip Zoro. I don't know how that
one's
is.
pretty good. Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Yeah,
But
I'm
I
checking
would
them
just
out
wait
right
for
now,
figure
and
arts.
Jesus, they really
think the
made
lines-
Nami's,
I think the One Piece line and the Naruto line's gonna blow up with how good they're making figures as of late. So I think we're gonna get those sooner in the line than
Oh, that
Honestly
makes
though,
sense.
I'll be
Cool.
honest, when it comes to One Piece, like I like that they're doing stuff right now, but I feel like they released Kaido way too soon into this line because he's such a
Yeah.
big figure. They haven't even established if this line is even going to sell well, and that's a problem. You know, I'm not I'm not saying I don't like
Kaido
big,
maybe a
big-
little too early, but
Yeah.
they're trying to capitalize off the popular arc that's going on right now, which is what they did the first time. They were capitalizing off the Enies Lobby arc, but One Piece was nowhere near as popular as it is now.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
but yeah, I would just wait. If anything, if they never make it, then yeah, maybe get the old SH figure arts pre-time skip Luffy. But I think the line will do well, and I think the Naruto one will too. But you guys think we should wrap this video up?
Yeah, I think
Before it gets a little too
it's getting on
long.
at that point. Like I really
I'm
enjoyed
trying
the
not to let it hit an
conversation.
hour and a half. But yeah, it was a good combo, and we really wanted to do this type of episode for maybe new collectors or people out there who are maybe still embarrassed or people who can relate to what we went through as collectors. We just wanted to make this because it's a topic, or it's something a lot of people just can relate to because we're all collectors. We've all been through similar situations, so we figured, hey, why not do an episode on this, you know? So yeah.
Also, I want to thank you guys so much. Like the fact that we've gotten up to 30 episodes and this podcast has been going very well up until this point. Like
Yes.
you guys have been great. You guys have been like, thank you guys so much for enjoying the podcast and watching us. You know, just having like hearing us, talk about action figures and not just nerding out over stuff. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to like continue doing this podcast. So I just want to leave my appreciation to you guys for all the love.
We
and support
thank
you guys
all
have
of
shown.
you.
Yay!
Yes.
All right.
And we
with-
will continue giving shout outs and reading the comments. I think
We didn't
didn't
get a
really
lot
get
of
too many
comments.
of-
We didn't get a
Yeah,
lot
so
of
we'll-
comments. Go
we'll
ahead.
wait till this video and do it in the next one. And maybe we'll start doing like birthday shout outs soon or something. So if your birthday's coming up, you want to shout out, put it in the comments.
Yeah.
Damn. my
Alrighty,
dog
guys.
is
With that being
stinky.
said, we'll see you guys in the comment section. Till then.
See you later.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to our podcast episode. If you're on YouTube and watch the video, then thank you for watching as well. We are your hosts,
Starblast Studios alongside.
Champ Animation.
and me, Daredevil 19.
And if you enjoyed our episode on Spotify, be sure to give us a follow and rating.
You can also leave us a comment under the Q&A, and we do thank you if you do. And if you did watch this on YouTube, be sure to give us a like if you liked it, and a subscribe-a-roo if you enjoyed it. And we will catch you on the next episode of the Plastic Power Podcast.